What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be discussing the matchup between the Toronto Ultra and the Atlanta Faze. This game is going to be taking place on Friday, April the 9th, and this is going to be the third day of the Call of Duty Stage 2 Major. So, this is going to be a very interesting game. The Toronto Ultra are coming off of a win against the Optic Chicago in a 3-2 stunner. Nobody was expecting that. Everybody was expecting Optic to win, and interesting result nevertheless. Atlanta Faze are coming off of a win as well, and I believe that Atlanta is looking pretty strong. They came back against London. They lost to LAG, but that might have been a fluke on LAG's part because it went to a 3-2. So this team is very strong. I do believe this team is in a league of its own, and the odds also reflect that sentiment with me. Atlanta faces minus 525 odds to win, and Toronto Ultra is a plus 345 underdog. And I really truly believe Atlanta Faze is going to win this matchup. However, I do feel like the Toronto Ultra has what it takes to beat the Atlanta Faze. Now we know that this team is human. Obviously, these guys were looking nasty. 11 wins in a row without a loss. They went undefeated up until last week. I do believe FaZe is going to win, but now we see that, they are capable of having flaws as well. They're not going to go this whole season undefeated. I do believe Toronto Ultra could beat them. And if they do beat them, it would require a player like Cammy and Insight to go absolutely nuts. Now, looking at the Toronto side, I do feel like I'm going to fade this side of the match. I'm not going to be targeting Ultra very much. I do think that Cammy is at a good value at 8,200. Usually when you see Cammy at those prices, you get them without even thinking twice. Cammy is just a beast. However, I do think obviously his price is this low because of the team he's going up against. I do not think Toronto is going to win. They could upset them like they did Optic, but Optic isn't in the level of FaZe, so let's not even compare Optic to FaZe. So I still don't think Ultra is on this level of FaZe. They could get an upset. It's not impossible. It's highly unlikely though. I would only look at a player like Cammy to have to pull through for his team, clutch up in various situations to help this team pull through against FaZe. I don't see it happening though. Insight at 8,600 would be a decent price in another matchup, but against the Atlanta Faze, I would fade him as well. Bance and Insight are the two that I'm going to completely say don't even pick them because they're not in optimal spots based on their prices. Cammy's in a good spot. He could definitely have a good game, a good series if this even goes to 5 games or 4. Kleenex is at 7,400. He could probably be a decent play too if this goes to 4 games. He's had 100 fantasy points in the last 3 games consecutively. 2 of those which were his second and third highest fantasy point games overall in the league. So Kleenex is a very good, solid price. I would say that Cammy and Kleenex are my favorite picks for the Ultra side, and with an highly inclination towards Kleenex just because he's the cheapest one with the highest upside right now, and then Cammy, of course, as my second option there. But that's only if you would be able to, or you're willing to target this squad. For the FaZe side, I'm highly confident that this team, every single player in this team is going to do well, especially if they get a 3-0 because of the 45 point bonus. As you can see here in their last matchup, Atlanta FaZe won the hard point. In the 3-0 they had, they won the hard point 143 to 250. Absolutely smoked Ultra. They beat them in the search and destroy on Moscow, and they 3-0'd them in the control. I remember that game. They absolutely destroyed them in that control. They were playing with them. They were playing with them like a dog plays with a bone, just tossing them around. It was honestly embarrassing to watch. It was hard to watch, but hopefully that doesn't repeat itself again. but Atlanta Faze is a very strong team, and they are not scared of the Toronto Ultra one bit. So I do say myself that the team position for Atlanta Faze at $4,000 is in play here, as well as every single one of these players. If I had to pick a couple, I would have to go with R Cities and Simp and Abizi, and not with Celium, because I think that at $9,000, Celium almost never pays off at that price. Like, yes, I think that it's very hard to pick and choose between these players. I would assume that you'd have to pick Celium and R City, since they're just the cheapest ones, and they always deliver as well. I love all of these players. Honestly, I don't think you could go wrong with either of them, any of them. So you might as well just pick the cheapest one, Celium and R Cities. Simp and Abizi, you can't go wrong with them. But they have to win for them to pay off these prices. I would not use Simp or Abizi in the captain spot. I think they're too expensive, because there's many other players that you can use in the captain spot that can bring you more value and allow you to fit in more expensive players in your lineup. So with that being said, my favorite picks in order from greatest to least. Most favorite to least in the Faze roster would probably have to be R Cities, Celium, Abizi, Simp, and not because Simp is my least favorite in general. It's just based on the price and the upside capability. So yeah, with that being said, these are my thoughts on this game. I'm going to predict this to be a 3-0 win from the Atlanta Faze again. If you like the content, if you don't like it, leave a like or a dislike, leave a comment. If you have any suggestions on how to make the channel more watchable or more interesting or more whatever, I'm willing to take an input and make the channel a better experience. Yeah, with that being said, stick around if you like esports content for betting purposes like this on Draftkings or BOVADA. And yeah, thanks for watching.